Those flash floods really lived up to their name. Small creeks caused big problems when they swelled out of control in just minutes. Newswatch 16 Suzanne Goldklein joins us live in the newsroom with the story. Suzanne?
Charlotte, people tell us those flash floods were the most violent they ever experienced. But while the damage is devastating, it wasn't widespread enough for the area to get federal aid. That means communities are having to do whatever they can to get help. It's hard to imagine the Coconut Creek engulfing an entire neighborhood, but during a flash flood Thursday night, 4 feet of water swept through Don Zaleski's home, stranding him, his wife, and cats on the front stoop.
We were just standing here hoping for the best. If the house came down, we could jump off to the side or something, but there wasn't much we could do.
The Coconut Creek hit Carmalt Road with devastating force. On one side, you can see all the trees the water carried, and on the other side, the void it left behind. 2 days later, a different kind of flood. Friends and co-workers here to help, doing everything from moving mud to picking sod out of Don's ATV.
I can't give enough thanks to everybody who's here right now.
The flash floods devastated a summer haven near Friendsville. Boats that used to float on Timberline Lake ended up piled in a creek. Kimberly Dempsey showed us where her dock used to be.
It was cemented in, believe it or not. We had it in buckets and it was cemented in.
A few miles away in Forest Lake, this home was ruined when a creek with no name left its signature in stone. Workers tried to rebuild its banks with the help of an excavator on loan from a pipeline company. In this township alone, at least half a dozen roads are damaged.
I have 48.22 miles of road, and I probably have parts of 5 miles of road tore up.
This road used to go all the way out to where the moss starts on that pipe. The town supervisor says he needs to get it fixed soon so the buses can get through when school starts Wednesday. While the damage is bad, Small says it's not bad enough to qualify for federal aid. That means money budgeted for a new community center will instead pay for cleanup and repairs.
And it's going to be a sad scenario, but that's the way it's got to be.
Now, many people who were hit by the flash floods don't live in a floodplain, so they didn't buy flood insurance. However, we did find one bright spot today. Last night, we met George Miller. He's a volunteer helping flood victims. He told Newswatch 16 he was hoping to speak with a Forest Lake Township supervisor about getting some equipment, and today we were able to introduce him. You were saying that you were hoping the township supervisors could help you. What do you need from him?
Equipment. I need some help.
While the supervisor says the township isn't permitted to loan him its own equipment, he was able to make a phone call to someone who might be able to lend a hand and some machines. And right before we left, Mike Snyder from Somerset Regional Water Resources came by and offered to help Miller help the flood victims.
Very relieved. Very relieved. I'm absolutely thrilled. These guys are great. Township supervisor, I've got to credit him for just making the initial phone call and getting the ball rolling for me, It really helps.
And a little more good news. Last night we showed a woman with a washed out driveway Miller was trying to help, and this afternoon we learned Alicia's Home Ministries is now covering the cost of the materials for those repairs. Miller trying to help as many people as he can in Susquehanna County. Suzanne Goldklein, Newswatch 16, live in the newsroom.